Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. I'm back. I took a short break for the holiday. Hope everybody had a blessed Thanksgiving. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that I kind of broached a while back with a comment. Um, my issues with the left. Um, that's speaking with the broad brush. Specifically, I'm going to refer to a TED Talk that I saw. Um, it was about why women menstruate and why humans are one of the very few mammals that menstruate. Um, Basically, because we can't put out litters of 6 to 7 to 8 baby humans at a time, and our gestation period is relatively long compared to a lot of other animals. So women need more chances, basically, to get pregnant. Pretty cut and dry from an evolutionary perspective. Um, the the topic here is a comment that I saw um, saying that not it's not that women have periods. It's that anyone with a womb has a period. Um, and this, as you can probably imagine, led to a an animated discussion on the undertones to that statement. Um, Basically, what this person was saying was that in today's day and age, it is archaic to say something like women have periods. Um, and there was a whole litany of comments on this. And I have my own critiques for both sides, actually, for the comments. Um, I am definitely not on the transphobic side. I am not on the side of, um, whatever some anomaly, 1% with mental illnesses um, want to call themselves shouldn't supersede the vast majority of normal, rational people and science to change terminology for the good of a very few people. Now that's a very brief summary of that side of things. I don't agree with that. That's not my take. I'm just illustrating one of the very broad reactions to that statement. Um, the other, the other, the other more to the left reaction is agreeing with it. Yeah, we should be inclusive and not use exclusive language that potentially ostracizes a set of the population. Sounds fair to me. However, there was another response that I kind of wanted to hone in on, which was that comments like this basically take away from a discussion about a women's issue, and that historically men have had a hand in kind of hijacking the story from women. Um, and you can look you can look in history. I think I would tend to agree that men in general, particularly white men, my demographic, has had a hand in subjugating and ostracizing women and not allowing them to have equality. We're still working on that, obviously. Um, and I wanted to take what this person said and kind of add something onto it. And this is where the nuance comes into this conversation. And this is what's going to come around to my problem with the left here. Um, so I think this person is right that saying anyone with a womb has a period in the context of a biological scientific discussion about why human mammals have periods and most other mammals don't. You know, this is a biological discussion. It's not a political. It's not a sociological discussion, right? So I think that there's merit to what she's saying. That you know, to take it's sort of like, you know, women's access to birth control, women's access to an abortion. I mean, I kind of get it. It does to a certain extent, I think, take away from the conversation being a woman's issue. And also, she made a good point about when we talk about like erectile dysfunction. We rarely see somebody jumping in with you're excluding women because some women have a penis. And that's true. I think that that also maybe gives some credence to the idea that there's a little bit of sexism involved in here, with the undertone that taking women out of the equation is a one-way road, that it doesn't happen on the other side, and I think that's true. However, I just wanted to add one more thing to the conversation here. I don't think that saying women are the only ones that have periods is exclusive squarely to you know, people that maybe identify as a man or a woman but happen to have a uterus and a womb. I also think it's important to remember that trans women do not have a womb or a uterus. But, you know, from a progressive standpoint, we want to call trans women women. And I agree with that too. Trans women are women. I agree with that. I'm not a transphobic person, if that wasn't clear already. So I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes we kind of overthink the words. Sometimes we try to make an issue when maybe there really isn't one. Because to my mind, you know, saying that women have periods, kind of like saying women's access to birth control, women's access to a safe abortion, you know, from a sociological perspective, maybe that's exclusive in some way, but I don't think that it's purely anti-woman. I think that when we recognize the fact that trans women also don't have periods, just like trans men oftentimes do. It's kind of there's nuance to it on both sides, and I think that you know, intersectionality is this interesting phenomenon that really appears on the left, especially, where you have to basically be all in on every issue progressively. And I have found that sometimes there are conflicts in this. Dave Chappelle comes to mind. Dave Chappelle is an issue that not an issue, obviously not the comedian Dave Chappelle, but the routine as an issue was something that I had thought about addressing, but I haven't yet. I might still, but again, there's a lot of nuance to that as well. But I do think that there is merit to what he's said about how quickly people can jump on an issue when it affects people who were born as white men. And I'll just leave it at that for now. But what I'm trying to say in a broader sense is that this particular discussion, this TED Talk, was a scientific, really an evolutionary discussion. It was about why humans have periods more often than other mammals, who most mammals don't actually have them at all, and the reasons for that. And that was really what it was about. And so to bring trans issues in a kind of a passive aggressive way into the conversation, it kind of detracts from what it's about. And I think that there is a risk oftentimes with kind of oversaturating, the sort of quote social justice warrior talk into conversations where it's not necessary, can sometimes kind of hurt that cause, because people kind of get burnt out hearing it. I think, the whole talk about cancel culture and political correctness and PC police, First Amendment rights, those kind of things. I'm not saying that I believe all that personally. Like, I'm not saying that I believe in cancel culture or that there is a threat to free speech. But I think that on a whole, on a societal level, there is a risk for people who are maybe not quite as caught up as some of us are on some of these issues, regressing further because they get turned off by the kind of incessant person that is sort of that token person to say, hey, don't say women, say person with a womb. When for all intents and purposes, I don't think that everybody needed to be reminded of that. I think we kind of know what it means. So anyway, that's just something I was thinking about. I hope that I didn't offend anybody with my thoughts on that. As I said, I'm not transphobic at all. I think trans women are women and trans men are men, and they should be afforded every right and dignity that anybody else has. I think my problem with the left is that sometimes it can insert polarizing issues into places that it's not necessary, and sometimes that can hurt the cause. But anyway, thanks for sticking around with me. If you have, I appreciate it. It was a little bit of a longer one, but it was to make up for lost time. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. I will be checking in with you all again very soon. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.